mind. We're uncaged.
Welcome to Topple Uncaged. I'm Steve Topple and you're locked on to the UK's hottest politics and music podcast. Each week I bring you the rawest takes on the big stories making the news, always joined by a very special guest. Then I pleasure your mind, body and soul with the freshest, most banging international music going.
Uncaged.
One love to the world. Oh yeah. Sure.
Yo, Izzy, are you kidding me?
'Cause I can't lie. It's an ugly world with some beautiful people in this time. The only thing that makes us feel good, ringing the vibe. Everyone high, I know you feel it. When the music hits, you feel no pain, but you gon' feel it. Hey, killer me. You gon' feel it.
My guest on today's show is a legend in the making, having a career spanning 15 years with one of the most recognisable voices on this planet. He was responsible for, in my opinion, one of the greatest songs ever written. He also is instrumental in bringing back roots in the noughties and paving the way for the now revival movement, which we see in the 2010s. He is an absolute star and I'm really, really humbled to have him on the show. I'm going to give you a clue, listeners, as to who this guest is. He's royal, so royal, and I want him on my show. Yes, I wanted him on my show and I've got him on my show. I'm so excited to be able to introduce to you Tarrus Riley is on the Topple Uncaged podcast. Tarrus, give thanks. Thank you so much for coming on. It is an absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you.
Yeah, man, respect, my brother. And once again, we give thanks for the time and the energy and the listeners and everyone. It's a real fancy intro, too, I must say.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. Tarrus, let's get straight down to business. So you have just released a brand new EP, the first EP you've ever released, actually, and it's called B.L.E.M. I've listened to it and I've listened to it and I've listened to it and I've instantly fallen in love with it. I think it's an absolutely stunning piece of work, but we'll get into the musical side of it in a little while. It's quite a departure from your last project, which was Love Situation back in 2014. It was sort of heavily based around roots. That was the mainstay of the album with variations off that. I mean, B.L.E.M stands for Blending Life's Experiences Musically. Why did you feel it was time then to blend life's experiences musically, but venturing into kind of different genres like Afrobeats and sort of this ambient R&B sound? Why was the time now to experiment some more with music?
Well, the time is not now. I've always been doing it, so now I'm just saying it. You know, Love Situation was a lover's rock steady album. And before that, I did an album called Acoustic, which is an acoustic album. So I've always been experimenting with different sonics and different sounds, rhythms, tempos, all of that. So now I'm just saying it, you know. I get the pleasure to work with a great producer, IzyBeats, you know what I mean? And we didn't have any genre prejudice. So we just went in and whatever felt good, we just made it. But if you look into, you know, what I feel like music, I've always done R&B kind of flavor songs or dancehall flavor songs or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now is just a time to just say it because we break out on the scene just before the internet started getting crazy. So a lot of people start, you know, them experience with the internet. So it's like if you don't know, now you know. So we've always given you a blame. If you look at, you know, I have a song with Ellie Goulding, Powerful, that's like a rock ballad. You know, I've given me like a one drop, you know what I mean? I make all different kind of songs, but I keep my message rooted in the same kind of vibes, you know? So I call it buffet style. It's an ital buffet, you know? You can pick up any little thing you want to pick up off of the buffet, but remember it's still ital. So the message don't change, but that's the way how we do it.
No, absolutely. And to be honest, you preempted something I was going to say, actually, because I've seen that B.L.E.M's been sort of hailed as experimental from you, and while sort of going into Afrobeat is kind of new territory for you, looking at your back catalogue, you have always been really, really experimental and crossing over genres. I mean, if you sort of go back to 2009's Contagious album.
Yeah, right. Soulmate is like an R&B vibes.
Yeah.
We have a lot of kind of vibes. Yeah, true.
Exactly.
And once again, you know, music, if you really look at life, if we're saying that music is life, music is all about blending and blend, you know. You know, in Jamaica, there's out of many one people, it's a blend, a variety of people. Reggae, authentic reggae, have roots in African culture. You know, everything is a blend. Everything is a blend. You have rock guitars from here. You have, music is a nice fusion, naturally. So, to call it blend is just natural.
I think it's perfect, yeah.
So that's really what it is. We live in a time now where people blend, we live a time when people blend, You have people who live in the UK with African parents and Jamaican parents, and then, some people have Korean. Like, the world is a nice mixture. It's a good time to be alive, I tell you the truth.
No, I don't deny that. And you're right, your music always has been a B.L.E.M, as I was saying. I mean, Contagious, you sort of trod this line between roots and dancehall, and then some sort of really you had Vibes Cartel on the album.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's great, man. He's great. He's our next one who will love the B.L.E.M too. Tomorrow is doing different things. The artists who wire it, they're multi-talented. And no disrespect, some people can only do one thing. So if you can only do one thing, then do that one thing the best way you can do it. But if you can do more than one thing, then you should do more than one thing. Because it would be an injustice to a creative person to stay in one place. You have to try, you have to push. You have to, want to do different things.
And you have been doing that. And I mean, I was listening to Parables as well. And that's completely different in some respects to Contagious, because that was a real kind of reggae it was more of a reggae and then soul crossover, wasn't it? It was heavily influenced by sort of soul and R&B, which you can always hear in your voice as well, that there's obviously a love of soul music there. I mean, is it literally just that you feel this eclecticism you have? It is because it reflects your life's experiences.
It's just the vibes, man.
Yeah.
It's just the vibes. It's just my personality, man. It's just the vibes, man. And nothing crazy, It's just the vibes.
So is it literally you go into the studio and sort of whatever vibe you're feeling, or whatever you're feeling that day, whatever divine sort of intervention maybe is happening, that then dictates and sort of moves you towards what style you're going to do. Is that how it works?
Yeah, no, I can't tell you how it works. If I tell you how it works, then I'm in a problem. I'll never tell you how it works. Look here.
Apologies for that.
I am up there.
Let's get back to B.L.E.M. B.L.E.M, I mean, the project is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a perfect.
Thank you very much.
It's stunning, and it's a brilliant vehicle for your versatility. I mean, so we go from, it starts off with Feel It, which is like this bang up to date kind of smooth kind of dance hall, but you do it in your own inimitable style, which is a sort of soulful, smoky vocals, and you do this great thing throughout the track where you slide kind of between the semitone and the tone with your voice, sort of filling the gap in between each note. It's absolutely glorious. And then you've got Gal with Stonebwoy, which is this sort of upbeat, funky Afrobeat come R&B
I remember
track.
Gal is an acronym, GYAL, and it stands for Girl You Are Loved.
Exactly, not Gal as in...
Because, a lot of people think that's Gal as a derogatory term, but it's GYAL.
Exactly. That's, again, genius move by your part to completely flip that term around and turn it into something positive, actually, as opposed to, like you said, there's sort of negative connotations around that word, isn't there? It's quite often derogatory. But brilliant track with Stonebwoy. Then you move on to Kryptonite, which is this delicious reggae Afrobeat fusion, and again, your delivery on it vocally is superb. It's this real rapid fire, lyrically, sort of rhythmically, very, very diverse, but rapid fire vocals on that, absolutely brilliant. And then we move on to Dangerous Waters with Leela Ike, who's sensational. She was on the show a few weeks ago. She's absolutely brilliant. And it's kind of this new wave kind of reggae sound, which is very much like the revival movement. Then you've got Trust Issues, which is a brilliant down-tempo kind of ambient R&B track. And you finish up with the gorgeous Just Love with Nia V, this brilliant kind of soul pop track.
And we have more than one version of that song, I must say.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, we have another one that's supposed to be released like any minute now.
Oh,
with just, more lyrics, Just Love, Nia V did a great job with her vocals and thing and her style. We also have another version with more lyrics, because that song just kept writing itself. It just kept on going and going and going. So we don't want people to hear, the other versions and so forth. That's a good thing about B.L.E.M. It doesn't stop. It's a thing that's super creative.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Excellent. Sounds really, really, really good. I mean, you've employed the talents of some sort of young upcoming artists like Leela Ike. I mean, Stonebwoy's obviously cemented as an artist as it is, and obviously production credits go to IzyBeats. I mean, Tarrus, looking back at your own sort of start in the music industry all those years ago now, do you think it's easier or harder for young up-and-coming artists to be able to break through and be able to start getting careers for themselves? How's it changed?
It's easier to get popular, but I don't know. It's easier to get popular because, popularity that's what people search for now. People search to be popular. And in our time, when we did, but a lot of people never know how we look. Then just know how our song sounds. But nowadays, because of the internet, think about it. In my father's time, he had to send music to England or Europe, and it would take weeks, even sometimes months. Now, you push a button, and the song is all over the world. So that's much easier. Can you imagine if Bob Marley had the internet?
Wow.
If Bob Marley had the internet, then that would be crazy, because with his kind of revolutionary mind, in how he was thinking at that time, if he had the internet, it would be a big, 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 big thing. So there's ways to get your music heard. There's all different platforms, but then in the same breath, because there's so much music now, you have to search harder for the cream of the crop. And I'm not here to talk about like whose music is good. I mean, that's the people's choice. But in the same breath, it's like, we all know a good song. Whether genre, favorite, whatever, we all know a good song. So sometimes it's harder sometimes you're bombarded with so much music, you don't get time to live with a song. You don't get time to hear what's going on, because it's like every week it's a new flavor. Boom, 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 boom. There's a lot, you know what I mean? But I would say it's easier, because it's easier to be seen, for sure. Because you have a lot of people who are just popular, who just need a record. And there's a lot of people who have good records and nobody don't hear them. So it's a B.L.E.M also. That too in itself is a B.L.E.M.
No, indeed. I mean, there's some absolutely fantastic artists out there doing some great work, and you sort of look on their YouTube views, and it's like just in the thousands, and it's very strange. I mean, also what's changed for artists now, I suppose, as well, since when you started out back in the noughties, is that the role of kind of clubs and festivals and selectors on the radio has changed as well, because you now have sort of everything's done via streaming sites, everything's promoted via social media.
Yeah, like I said, we broke out right before the internet. If you look at my history and check the track record, remember Parables album, it really became like it when talking about 06, 07, 08, 09, them time with Gaza and Gully. You have Gaza, you have Gully, you have Tarrus Riley, you know what I mean, and all of us were breaking through, and then we move forward to, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, it's just once upon a time, my father wanted to sell records. Now this generation wants views. So, you know what I mean? It's just different goals.
No, absolutely, and then I think that's spot on. It is very, very different. I mean, I think we're the same age, actually, Tarrus. I was born in 1981 as well. Yeah. I think we're the same age, so I've seen the whole transition as well, definitely, and it's very, very, very different.
I'm one generation in front of you. I'm right behind Sister them.
Ah, okay.
I'm a 80s baby. I'm a 80s baby, grow up in the 90s.
Yeah. No, yes. Same here. So, I have to, if you don't mind, I would like to just touch on She's Royal, because obviously it was.
No problem.
It was. Thank you. It was such a monumental track and such a defining piece of work, and it still holds weight to this day.
Yeah, it's gonna go as one of the. It's gonna go in history, man. It's one for the books.
Yep. It will, absolutely, and it's a stunning track still to this day. I mean, how did the success of that impact on you as an artist? Did it change the way you did things at all, or did it make you more?
I mean, it made me popular, as you know. It made me very popular.
Mm.
Every artist needs that song, you know. Everybody needs a breakthrough song. So we could, to say the least, call it my breakthrough song.
Mm.
The good thing about that song is that it was a part of an album. So it wasn't like just a one-hit wonder, so to speak. It was a part of a complete project. So when people heard She's Royal, they had the opportunity to hear everything about what I was bringing.
Mm.
Because remember, that same album had Stay With You, Beware. There's a lot of hits on that album, you know what I mean? So that was to me one of the nicest things about that whole experience, to know that it was. I didn't release a single. I wasn't trying to do. I didn't know what to expect. And we tried something, and the rest is history.
Yeah, no, and it does, and it stands. It stood up to the test of time. It is timeless. It is a timeless track.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely timeless. I mean, also what's throughout all your work, Tarrus, is the fact it's all very, very conscious work, which I want to get into in a minute. But I mean, you're a very spiritual person. You're Rasta. Is that your overriding guide with regards to your music? Is your faith and your spirituality?
I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, music is life.
Mm.
So, I mean, nowadays the world gets so ticklish. I am who I am, I can't change. To the Rasta youth. So, I mean, you're going to hear those influences in the song. It's Rastafari teaching make you get She's Royal.
Mm.
Because the Rasta man talk to him woman and say she's a queen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a king, she's a queen. So, he's just teaching. It is how we grow. Like, you know, if I was a footballer, you'd hear like a football metaphors in my lyrics. But, I mean, I'm not. It's a Rasta youth, so definitely you're going to hear that whole vibe. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mother and father grew around the Rasta culture, and it teach you everything about life, and you get that in my music.
No, absolutely. And you do. I mean, you focus with regards to sort of the conscious side of things. You focus on all sorts of areas: spirituality, violence, Black history, empowering women and children. Is something.
Remember again, as you say, music is life. And if we're dealing with life, then you're going to get the different topics of life in the music. It's very simple, you know. Like, I don't look too far for songs. If you listen, again, go back to the B.L.E.M.
Mm.
That's some real good songwriting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I must say, I'm not bragging, but I mean, I just know the effort that went into it. The IzyBeats really did like some really good songwriting. If you think about the song like Trust Issues, a lot of people have a lot of trust issues all over the world.
Mm.
You know what I mean? A song like Dangerous Waters. Like, it's a very, very heavy love song. But I mean, it's not sexy. It's more like a relationship. And like real things happening. It's not just, hey girl, let's make love. No, yeah. It's like, yeah, you know, it's a real scenario that people can look through and live. So, once again, we just give thanks to the Most High that we're blessed to be around creative people. We're blessed to, you know, have a talent that we can make music and touch people's soul, because that's not easy. And we're doing it over and over and over and over. So now it becomes a service to people. You know what I mean? It's not just a big thing to say, yeah, well, you know, I'm the best. No, we're doing work for people. It's like a service, like community work. So when you travel on the road and you meet people, they tell you, say, hey man, this song changed my life. And I'm laughing because the song changed my life too. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's absolutely brilliant. But it's very, very true. And I mean, another standout track was Kryptonite, and it's one of those songs.
It's a fun record.
It speaks for itself. It's absolutely brilliantly done. It's a wonderfully done track, and it really does. It just tells you it's about the song, and it is Kryptonite, and it's perfect. It literally speaks to you. It's absolutely wonderful. But I mean, across the years, I mean, there's been a few standout tracks for me of yours which have really touched me. Living the Life of a Gun was one. I mean, I thought that was absolutely genius what you did with that.
Yeah, because Tarrus is a gun name. I want to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
DJ did not give respect to the hip hop influence and the dancehall influence a song like that. Because remember Tarrus now, a lot of people know there's a gun named Tarrus. It was like I'm living the life of a gun, you know? Hold 1 second.
And another standout track for me, Tarrus, was Africa Awaits from Parables. It's absolutely gorgeous piece of work. It's kind of this sort of soul kind of traditional Afrobeat fusion. It's an absolutely gorgeous track. I mean, you sort of talk about Africa quite a lot. It is raising awareness and raising the sort of level of consciousness about the motherland. Is that really quite important to you?
Remember that's the Rastaman job. Remember that's the Rastaman duty, you know. Before me born, remember the Rastaman always speak of Africa. Rastaman always Africa awareness. Remember, one of the greatest things for me in music right now is just to know that Afrobeat is popular. Because, I mean, we've been champion in Africa all this time. So we love it. I feel like I told you. You know what I mean? Like I told you so. Africa's a place. You know what I mean? So it's all good. I mean, you don't know. Once again, I can't say no only for credit. I mean, I can take credit for the creative part, but I mean, I can't take too much credit for the inspiration because I know that, you know, I'm meant to pick up my mother and father, not to pick up the elder Rastaman, and not to pick up everybody who's a part of it because a lot of this knowledge was here before I was here. It's just that I find my little way to put my twist on it, you know what I mean? So I give thanks.
Absolutely, and it is really good to see Afrobeat sort of blow up as it has been now, and also, I mean, the revival movement as well. There's a lot of artists who are really sort of bringing home the message of Africa and the importance and the culture and the spirituality and everything surrounding it. I mean, just on the revival movement, obviously you were sort of there years before it began, sort of in 2010. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole movement? How do you think it's shaping up now, sort of as 9 years going?
Well, I tell you something funny. I will take credit for this. I mean, I definitely was one of the people who were very much an advocate of the new talent coming out, dealing with that. And that's a proven fact. We can rewrite history now. I mean, all of these artists, and I love them vibes and what they bring to the music. And one of the reasons why I love it so much was because when I stepped into the business, I didn't have like a team. It was just me. You know what I mean? But the youth are very united. And I love that. Just to have a movement. You know, one man only a move, you know. But only for people can have a movement. So you have a lot of today you have a lot of upcoming artists doing great. You have a person of mine named Jay Prince. You can look out for him, he's very good. Yeah. Like, you know, I always love youth energy and youth stepping up doing music. And then I'm still a youth. And I know how it is. Knocking on the door and wanting to be heard.
No. And you're so right. They did the whole movement. It really works as a kind of collective, doesn't it? It's great to see them. They all support each other. They work on each other's tracks.
If you look, I'll tell you a joke. That was the song I named Give Me Nickel One Drop. That's what it was about.
Oh.
It was actually endorsing the movement.
Oh, okay.
Because they say one drop come back. So I said, well, all right, since one drop come back, then give me Nickel One Drop. Because I've been waiting. If it's one drop season, we're ready because we've been ready for the one drop.
I didn't know that. That's absolutely fascinating. Wow. Love that. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It is. No, I mean, it is great to see, but you were it's funny. I was interviewing Firekin last night. And he's someone else who's been around for quite a few years, and he was kind of there before the revival movement sort of came together. And he was saying as well, it's a very positive thing to see it. I mean, just to wrap up, Tarrus, what is in store for you for the rest of the year? Obviously, B.L.E.M's just recently dropped. We're still in the midst of festival season, so I'm sure you've got more dates and shows coming up. But what's in store for the rest of 2019 for Tarrus Riley?
We're going to bring the B.L.E.M on the road, definitely.
Excellent.
And we're going to have more details about that. until then, just go and live with it because, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good songs. Just get familiar with it because, I mean, it's really nice. I put my heart into it. And we're definitely going to be on the road with it. Sure.
Excellent, that is fantastic. Tarrus Riley, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you. I mean,
Yeah, thanks, man. Hey, listen, I'm in Jamaica. You're calling me from all the way across the world. I appreciate you, man, and I appreciate your platform and your time.
That's very kind.
Be talking to anybody in the world, and you try to talk to me, so I also give thanks for that. I remember when I was in my bathroom singing and I wanted to be a singer, and I couldn't wait to do interviews and travel and tour and stuff like that. So I don't take it for granted that we are talking, spending this time, man. Give thanks, bro.
Thank you. And you should be extremely, extremely proud of B.L.E.M. It's an absolutely fantastic project, and all the links will be in the show notes for where you can get your hands on it. For the minute, Tarrus Riley, I do hope you'll come back on the podcast again, but like I say, it's been a treat chatting to you. Thank you so, so much.
Yeah, my brother, respect, man, and keep in touch, man. Keep the link and pick up all the listeners. They don't know all Jamaica and over in England. Hustle hard, work hard. Everything is everything. We're representing with the music, right? You're a singer, sing it.
Ha. Blessings, thank you. He's royal, so royal, and I had him on my show. Yes, Tarrus Riley, what an absolute superstar he is. It was such a privilege to be able to chat to such a living legend, in my opinion. He was absolutely fantastic. Really lovely guy as well, full of jokes, full of life, energy just steaming out of him. Really, really, really blessed to have the opportunity to speak with him. And B.L.E.M is absolutely sensational. I urge you to go and download the album now. All the links will be in the show notes. However, here is one of my favourite tracks from B.L.E.M by Tarrus Riley. All the tracks are superb, but this one is particularly good in my opinion. This is Tarrus Riley with the fantastic Kryptonite off his latest EP, B.L.E.M. Tarrus Riley, Kryptonite. Check it out. Absolutely amazing.
So man, I give me a day for me mad, but me no want to use Panadol. Me a cooler will I meditate. Me a man, no matter how the girl a power strong. You know see how she do to man. Anytime she drop it like a man. But woman a we weakness tradition. Kryptonite Superman. Checking at the first days, ask Adam. Samson or Salaman. Tell you we can't live without a man. Every man for your one. She will make you turn your friend them in a enemy. She will marry you all if you want take your money. Have a face and have a shape and have a quality. Still me not go make that girl that tell me sanity. You know see how she do to man. She will make you spend $1 million. So man I give me a day. Feel me mad. But me no want to use Panadol. Me a cooler will I meditate. Me a man. No matter how the girl a power strong. Body like a treasure and she born with the gold. Every man I look you when you camp on the road. Something about a woman where you can't get around. Like gravity pulling, I have no control. So man I give me headache. Mad. But me no want to use Panadol. Me a cooler will I meditate. Me a man. No matter how the girl a power strong. You know see how she do to man. Anytime she drop it like a man. She will make you turn your friend them in a enemy. She will marry you all if you want take your money. Have a face and have a shape and have a quality. Still me not go make that girl that tell me sanity. You know see how she do to man. She will make you spend $1 million. So man I give me a day. So man I give me a day.
And that's it. This very special episode of Topple Uncaged is done. I'd like to thank my fantastic guest, the incredible Tarrus Riley. Follow him on Twitter. It's at Tarrus Riley JA. As always, behind the scenes, thank you to the love of my life, the gorgeous Nicola Jeffrey. Follow her on Twitter. It's at Nicola C. Jeffrey. My man behind the booth, sounds engineer Gav Pause. Follow him on Twitter. It's at Pause with AZ Radio. And my in-house singer, it's Ray Star Music. Follow her on Twitter. It's at Ray_Star113. Thank you to the Canary for uncaging me. I will see you again soon.
Uncaged.